I think one of the most dangerous ideas sold to women is that we can have everything. And not because I think women are incapable. Actually, I think the opposite. I think we are so capable that we keep proving we can do everything until eventually our body is the one that says no. You can be an amazing mom, a loving wife, ambitious at work, take care of your body, look put together, maintain friendships, I don't know, have hobbies, cook healthy food, keep a beautiful home, work on your dreams. You probably can do it all, but I've started asking myself a different question. At what cost? I've been thinking a lot about this as becoming a mom because motherhood didn't make me less ambitious. I didn't suddenly erase the girl that I was before. I still want a career. I still want to create things. I still want to paint. I still care about how I look, how my home feels, my relationship with my husband, the projects I'm building, the things I want to experience in my life. I didn't become a mom and suddenly stop wanting to be, me. But now there's a person in my life who is not a project, who is not something I can optimize. He's my son. And he needs time, attention, presence, patience. And suddenly every hour of my life feels like it belongs to five different versions of me. Yeah, before having a baby, I think I had a very romantic idea of how being a good mom would look like. And then when you actually become a mother, especially now with social media, the standard becomes almost absurd. So you shouldn't just feed your baby. For example, you need to research ingredients, sleep schedule, milestones, screen time. Montessori, I don't know, gentle parenting, independent play, and somehow you're supposed to know which parenting philosophy is currently like psychologically optimal. And of course you want to do it right. I definitely do. I want my son to feel loved and safe with me. I want to be present, but then the perfectionism starts, and suddenly motherhood itself becomes another area where you feel like you've been evaluated. Like, did I play with him enough today? Did he eat enough? Did I stimulate him enough? Did I stimulate him too much? And I think there's this cruelty in turning love into some kind of performance review. So so maybe a good mother is not a woman who gets everything right. Maybe she's just a woman whose child feels safe being imperfect around her. And honestly, I'm still learning that. Yeah. And because motherhood also doesn't pause your relationship, your partner is still there. I don't want my marriage to become this logistical company where two adults manage laundry, grocery, childcare, and bills. I still want romance. I want to talk. Um, I want dates. I want passion. I want to be interested in my husband as a person and not just ask him, I don't know, who's changing the diaper. I want to have our little rituals. Yeah, we actually rely on a lot of systems in our relationships. Even we can do the app we're building together really came from the this need to keep our life aligned without like constantly discussing every tiny responsibility. Yeah, because your brain is carrying 100 invisible things. Even love can start to feel some kind of administrative. Yeah, but maintaining a relationship takes energy. Being emotionally available takes energy. Being affectionate when you're kind of overstimulated also takes energy. Being playful when you've slept badly takes energy. And I think women feel guilty admitting that because we think, like, well, I love my husband. Why should spending time together feels like another thing on my list? But love doesn't cancel exhaustion. And then there's another version of me, the girl who exists outside of marriage and motherhood. Yeah, she want to look good, she want to exercise, she want healthy skin, a calm morning routine, maybe skincare at night, maybe journaling, maybe hours of sleep, maybe 10,000 steps. Yeah, and there's something almost funny about wellness culture now, telling exhausted women to solve exhaustion by adding 17 more habits. Like, Wake up early, meditate, journal, read 10 pages, drink 3 liters of water, and suddenly your self care needs some kind of project management tool. So, if maintaining your well being becomes another source of anxiety, I'm not sure we can still call it self care, you know? That one has been difficult for me because structure makes me feel safe, planning makes me feel in control. When I'm overwhelmed, my instinct is usually not to simplify. My instinct is to create a better system, a new schedule, a new routine, a new Notion page. Yeah, maybe this time I'll color code it. I don't know. And for about like 48 hours, I feel incredible, and then reality hits me again. And of course, career. This is probably one of the hardest contradictions for me because I genuinely enjoy being ambitious. I like being competent. I like understanding what I'm doing. I like taking ownership. I like being the person who knows something and fixes it instead of just waiting to be told. So, yeah, I want to grow. I want to build things. Motherhood didn't remove that part of me, but work requires completely different version of your brain. You know, you need focus, deep thinking, creativity, a lot of patience. You need to care about problems that 5 minutes earlier, for example, felt completely irrelevant because your baby was crying. And somehow you're supposed to bring your full mental capacity to work after possibly already spending 3 hours emotionally regulating another human being. So, yeah, it is possible. I've done it. Women do it every day. But possible and sustainable are not the same thing. So, just because I'm capable of carrying something doesn't mean it belongs in my hands, you know? Yeah, that has probably been one of the biggest lessons of this stage of my life. And this is where it becomes slightly ridiculous because apparently being a mom, a wife, a girl, a software developer, I would say, is not enough for me. I also want hobbies. I want to paint. I want to create projects. I want to build things. I want to travel. I want to learn German. I want to make YouTube videos. Yeah, which is funny considering I'm currently making a YouTube video about how I need to stop adding things to my life right now. But I think that's how I want to make things, you know, because I'm not speaking from the other side of the lesson. Like, I'm very much still in there, you know. I'm still the person who says, this month I'm going to slow down and then creates like 11 goals for the month. I genuinely love that. I mean, that's part of the problem. There are so many things I want to experience, so many versions of myself I want to meet. But, you know, a human life has limits, 24 hours, one nervous system, one body. Um, yeah, and I've been feeling those limits more strongly recently. When I overload myself for too long, eventually my body seems to start protesting. I get exhausted and sick more often. Everything becomes harder. And sometimes I think the body notices what the mind keeps trying to negotiate with. Yeah. But yeah, this I think this is the uncomfortable truth. Every life has trade offs. We just don't like that word, especially as an ambitious girl, because compromise sounds like failure. If I say, for example, this year I'm focusing less on my career, it feels dangerous. If I say my house isn't going to be perfectly clean, it feels kind of lazy. If I say I'm exercising 3 times a week instead of five, I feel like I'm lowering my standards, you know? If I don't cook every day, if I postpone a creative project, if I don't answer every message, if I spend an afternoon doing absolutely nothing productive, there is this tiny voice asking, are you wasting your potential? And maybe protecting your capacity is actually using your potentially wisely. Maybe maturity is understanding that everything can matter without everything being important right now. Yeah, you don't have to abandon a dream just because you're not prioritizing it in this season. This idea gives me a lot of space. Temporarily let go is not a failure, sometimes it's intelligence. So, I am trying to stop designing my life around my maximum capacity because that's what I've always done. I calculate what I could theoretically achieve if I am disciplined enough. For example, 5 workouts, full productivity at work, perfect meals, creative hobbies, quality time, motherhood, relationship, social life, personal projects. And technically, maybe the math works, but there's no margin. There's no bad nights, no sick baby, no difficult day, no emotional crash, no, I don't know, random Tuesday when you simply don't feel like you're being, extraordinary. And I think a sustainable life needs some kind of empty space. So I'm trying to ask myself something simpler. What are the things that truly need me right now? My son needs me, my marriage matters, my health matters, my work matters, and then maybe everything else doesn't disappear. It just becomes a little bit softer. For example, painting can wait a week. A project can move a bit slower. My house can look like someone lived in. I can wear the same comfortable outfit 3 times, and the universe will continue, probably. Yeah, I don't think I've solved this. I suspect I will continue making overly ambitious schedules and then complaining about the schedules I made for myself. But I'm starting to understand something. The goal of my life is not to prove how much I can carry. Maybe the perfect mom isn't the mom who sacrifices every other version of herself. Maybe she's the girl who knows herself well enough to create life where she has enough inside her to actually enjoy her child. So enough energy to love, enough identity to remain interesting to herself, enough love left for her own future. So you can be the perfect mom, perfect wife, perfect girl, perfectly healthy, organized, creatively fulfilled, maybe for a while, but I'm starting to think perfection isn't really the goal. I think I want something quieter, a little, a life that feels beautiful from the inside, not just impressive from the outside. And right now, I'm learning that sometimes becoming the girl I want to be means doing less, not because I'm capable less, but because I finally understand what my energy is worth. And saying all of that, I think I would probably close this camera and immediately make another plan. Yeah, see, we're working on it. I think we are done for today. See you in the next one. I feel a bit weird every time I film outside because I'm filming from my garden and I'm in the ground floor and everything is exposed here. So there's some park right in front of me. You see a lot of people. That whatever, who cares? I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna wave because it looks weird outside. But bye bye.